Hello and welcome to Spread Talks. This news update is coming from Palestine, where dozens of Jewish settlers, flanked by heavily armed Israeli special forces, entered the Al-Aqsa Mosque compound in occupied East Jerusalem in the early morning, further raising tensions hours after Palestinian worshippers were beaten and assaulted by Israeli police, according to the Islamic Authority overseeing the site. Citing witnesses, Palestinian news agency WAFA said Israeli police had earlier on Sunday assaulted Palestinian worshippers who were performing dawn prayers at the mosque and excessively beat them in order to make way for Israeli Jewish settlers to storm the compound, Islam's third holiest site. WAFA added that at least 6 Palestinians had been arrested, including Fadi Alian, a guard at the Al-Aqsa Mosque who tried to film the incident, and Ali Wazuz, an employee of the Islamic Waqf Council, the religious body appointed by Jordan to oversee the Al-Aqsa compound. Israeli police also increased restrictions at the gates leading to Al-Aqsa, barring worshippers under the age of 45 from entering the mosque. The ancient marble and stone compound, known to Muslims as Al-Haram al-Sharif, houses Al-Aqsa Mosque and the 7th-century Dome of the Rock. Hoda Abdul Hamid, reporting from Damascus Gate in occupied East Jerusalem, said the makeup of those visitors are usually Jewish settlers or Israelis that are far-right-leaning or ultra-nationalists. This comes at a time where the tensions are very high. Those visitors go in surrounded under the protection of Israeli forces, Abdul Hamid said, adding that some scuffles that broke out. Those visitation rights were suspended from the holy month Ramadan because there were a lot of tensions in the compound, she said, but Sunday was the first day that they were reinstated. The incident comes as a fragile ceasefire holds in the besieged Gaza Strip days after the end of a brutal 11-day Israeli bombing campaign that killed at least 248 people, including 66 children. An Israeli police crackdown on worshippers at the Al-Aqsa Mosque compound during Ramadan and the threat of forced expulsions of Palestinians from their homes in occupied East Jerusalem had ignited protests across the occupied Palestinian territories, which were cracked down by Israeli police as well. Hamas, the group that controls the Gaza Strip, issued Israel a deadline to halt the crackdowns. The deadline passed unheeded, resulting in Hamas firing rockets towards Israel, and Israel launching an intensive bombing campaign on Gaza. Hours after a truce took effect, Israeli police stormed the Al-Aqsa Mosque compound after Friday prayers. In recent days, hardline Israeli settler groups have raised calls on social media for Jewish worshippers to enter the premises. The group's objective is to rebuild the third Jewish temple on the grounds of Al-Aqsa Mosque, according to their websites. But under the status quo affirmed in 1967, only Muslims can pray within Al-Haram al-Sharif. Israeli police spokesman Mickey Rosenfeld said the site was open for regular visits, and that police had secured the area to prevent incidents. Without elaborating, the Associated Press reported. The WAQF said on Sunday it was the first time Israel allowed Jewish settlers to visit the site since May 4, a week before the latest conflict broke out. In recent years, increasing numbers of religious and far-right Israelis have visited the Al-Aqsa Mosque compound. Palestinians fear Israel plans to eventually take the compound over or partition it. The Israeli government has repeatedly said it has no intention of changing the status quo, under which the WAQF oversees the site.